दुनिया ना साला है जो मर वंजसी, लोकां ना साला है जो मर खाक थी। हुक्म श्री गुरु ग्रंथ साहिब, पेज 755-756, अंग 755 756। राग सूही महला तीजा कर दसवां। एक ओंकार सतगुर प्रसाद। दुनिया ना साला है जो मर वंशी, लोकां ना साला है जो मर खाक थी। राग सोही महला थर्ड कर 10th। एक ओंकार सतगुर प्रसाद। In this Shabad, Guruji gives us some very important lessons for leading a truthful and fruitful life, which will bring honor and glory not only to ourselves but also to our family and friends. First of all, commenting on the habits of many who try to flatter powerful, rich or influential persons in order to gain their favor. But in the end, they face disappointment because either these high-ups promise but do not provide any real help, or they lose their power and influence or die. So Guruji says to us, "O man, do not flatter this world which shall pass away, and don't flatter the people who are going to die and become dust one day." Stanza 1. वाह मेरे साहिबा वाह, गुरमुख सदा सलाइए, सच्चा वे परवाह रहाओ. Guruji now shows us whom to praise and whom to glorify. Addressing God, he says, "Amazing are you, O my master, amazing are you, O my friends." Through Guru's hymns, we should always praise the eternal, carefree being. Para 1-pause. दुनिया केरी दोस्ती मनमुख दज मरन, जमपुर बद्धे मारिए वेला न लहन. Commenting on the efforts of many self-conceited people who try to court friendship with worldly influential persons, Guruji says, self-conceited people burn and exhaust themselves out for the sake of friendship with influential people of the world, and do not devote any time or energy in worshipping God. So after death, they are bound and beaten at the door of the demon of death, and then they do not get another opportunity to meditate on God's name which could save them. Stanza 2. गुरमुख जन्म सका आर्था, सच्चे शब्द लगन, आत्म राम पर गास्या सहजे सुख रहन. But regarding the Guru's followers, he says, fruitful is the life of Guru's followers because they get attuned to the true word of the Guru. Their minds are illuminated with the all-pervading God, and they easily abide in peace. Stanza 3. गुर का सद विसारिया दूजे भाई रचन, तिसना भुख न उतरै अंधन जलत फिरन. Commenting again on the conduct of self-conceited persons, Guruji says, having forsaken the Guru's word, the self-conceited persons embrace love for the other worldly things and people. But their thirst and hunger for worldly riches never dies, so day and night they move around suffering in pain. Stanza 4. ਦੁਸ਼ਟਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਦੋਸਤੀ ਨਾਲ ਸੰਤਾਂ ਵੈਰ ਕਰਨ, ਆਪ ਡੁੱਬੇ ਕੁਟੰਬ ਸਿਉ ਸਗਲੇ ਕੁਲ ਡੁੱਬੈਨ. Commenting further on the conduct of self-conceited persons, Guruji says, such people make friendship with evil people, but they harbor enmity with the saints. So they are drowned along with their families and cause their entire lineage to drown in the worldly ocean and thus they not only ruin themselves but also bring dishonor to their entire lineage. Stanza 5. निंदा फली किसे की नाही, मन मुग्ध करन, मुँह काले तिन निंदका, नरके कौर पवन. Describing another evil habit of such people, Guruji says it is not good to slander anyone, but these foolish self-conceited people do indulge in it. So in the end, these slanderers earn disgrace and suffer in horrible hell. Stanza 6. ए मन जैसा सेवे तैसा होवे, ते कर्म कमाए, आप भी जापे ही खावना, कहना किछु न जाए. Therefore, counseling his own mind and actually us, he says, O my mind, remember that whomsoever you serve or follow, by doing similar deeds, you would become like them. This is the natural way, that as you sow, so shall you reap, and nothing else can be said against this law, and you have to bear the consequences of your deeds. Stanza 7. महापुरखा का बोलना होवे कितै पर थाए, अमृत फरे भरपूर हैं उना तिल न तमाए. Therefore, motivating us to associate with great holy persons, he says, O my friends, anything uttered by the great pious persons is for some profound purpose. They are brimful with the nectar of God's name. They themselves don't have any kind of selfish motive in their mind. Whatever they say is for the welfare of others. Stanza 8. गुणकारी गुण संगरै अवरा उपदेसेन, सेवड़ भागी जे न मिल रहे, अंदिन नाम लेन. Describing the merits of associating with such pious people, Guruji says, O my friends, the meritorious holy persons amass virtues and instruct others to do likewise. Therefore, fortunate are they who meet these holy persons, because in their company they also meditate on God's name day and night. Stanza 9. देसी रिजिक संभाजन उपाई मेदनी, एको है दातार सच्चा आप धनी. Guruji now touches on another aspect of human life, the concern regarding the sustenance of one's family and one's dependence on other people for survival. He says, Oh my friend, remember that he who has created this universe provides sustenance to all. He alone is the giver, and eternal is that rich master. Stanza 10. सो सच तेरे नाल है गुरमुख नदर निहाल, आपे बख्शे मेल लाए, सो प्रभ सदा समाल. But most of us dismiss this assurance and say to ourselves, who knows where that God is, and we need somebody to whom we can go right away and present our needs face to face. To such a question, Guruji's response, O man, that eternal God is with you. By following Guru's advice, try to behold him with your spiritual eyes. On his own, showing mercy, he unites you with him, and you should always remember that God. Stanza 11. मन मैला सच निर्मला क्यों कर मिलया जाए, प्रभ मेले ता मिल रहे हमें शब्द जलाए. However, cautioning us, Guruji says, O my friends, our mind is dirty, but the eternal God is immaculate. So how could we unite with that true and immaculate God? The answer is that if God so wishes, then by destroying one's ego through the Guru's word, one can get united with him. Stanza 12. सो सौ सच्चा विसरै धृग जीवन संसार, नदर करे ना विसरै Gurmati Vichar. Now Guruji tells us how important it is that we never forsake God. He also tells us how to ensure that this never happens. He says, "Oh my friends, accursed is living in this world. If we forsake that eternal spouse, but if we reflect upon Guru's advice and act upon it, then God shows His grace, and then He is never far, never forsaken." Stanza 13. सतगुर मेले तां मिल रहा साच रखां और थार मिलिया होए न विछड़ै गुर के हेत प्यार. Therefore, describing his own present state of mind, Guruji says, "O my friends, I know this thing, that if the true Guru unites me with that God, then I could remain united with him and keep the true God enshrined in my heart. The person who is thus united with God through the love and affection of the Guru is not separated from him again." Stanza 14. पिरसा लाही अपना गुर कै शब्द विचार मिल प्रीतम सुख पाया शोभावंती नार. So on the basis of his personal experience, Guruji tells us the bright soul who by reflecting on the Guru's word praises her spouse, meeting her beloved, she obtains peace and is known as a woman of good repute. Stanza 15. मनमुख मन न भिजई अत मैले चित्त कठोर सपै दूध पियाइए अंदर विस्निकोर. Guruji now comes back to the attitude of the self-conceited persons and tells us why these people behave as they do. He says, "Oh my friends, the mind of self-conceited person is extremely dirty, and they are so stone-hearted that they are never convinced about the truth and the virtue of any good advice. They are like snakes who, even when fed with milk, still have only poison in them." Stanza 16. आप करे किसे आखिए आपे बख्सन हार गुर शब्दी मैल उतरे तां सच सुनिया सीगार. Reflecting on the reasons why the self-conceited persons are so evil-hearted and how they never become pious, Guruji says, "Oh my friends, when God himself is doing everything, then whom can we say good or bad? He himself is capable of pardoning and showing mercy on them. So when by reflecting on Guru's word, one's dirt of ego is washed off, then one's soul is embellished with everlasting beauty." Stanza 17. सच्चा सा सच्चे वन जारे ओथे कूड़े ना टिकन ओना सच ना भावई दुख ही माहे पचन. Stressing upon the importance of truth in the court of God, Guruji says, "Oh my friends, eternal is the banker of divine riches of God's name, and also eternal are the traders who come to do business in that commodity. The false ones cannot stay at all, because to them this truth is not pleasing, and they are consumed in pain itself." Stanza 18. हमें मैला जग फिरै मर जम्मे वारो वार पइये किरत कमावना कोई न मिटन हार. Guruji now comments on the attitude of the world in general and says, "Oh my friends, soiled with ego, the world is wandering around, therefore it keeps going through birth and death again and again. One has to act according to one's preordained destiny based on deeds done in the past lives, which no one except God can erase. Stanza 19. सुनता संगत मिल रहे तां सच लगे प्यार सच सलाही सच मन दर सच्चे सचियार. But Guruji is always compassionate to everyone. Therefore he tells us what one could do in this birth so that one does not have to suffer through birth and death again. He says, "O my friends, if one remains united with the company of saints, then one is imbued with the love for the eternal God. By praising the true God with true love and concentration of mind, one is accepted as true in the court of the eternal God, and thus by loving the eternal God through the company of the saints, one can end one's cycle of birth and death and get merged in God Himself." Stanza 20. गुरपुरे पूरी मत है ऐनिस नाम थे आए हमें मेरा वड रोग है विचों ठाक रहा है. Commenting on the merits of Guru's advice, he says, "O my friends, perfect is the advice of the perfect Guru. Therefore, following Guru's advice, one who day and night meditates on God's name internally puts a stop to ego and the sense of mindness, which is a severe chronic malady." Stanza 21. गुरसालाही अपना निव निव लागा पाए तन मन सापी आगे थरी विचों आप गवाए. Therefore, even for himself, Guruji says, "I wish that I may keep praising my Guru and pay respect to him by bowing and touching his feet and shedding my ego from within. I may surrender my body and soul to him." Stanza 22. खिंचो तान विगुचिए एक स्यों लिव लाए हमें मेरा छड़ तू तां सच रहे सुमाए. Giving us another piece of advice, Guruji says, "O my friends, we are simply ruined by remaining torn between different pulls and pushes. Therefore, you should attune your mind only to the one God. When you forsake your ego and sense of I amness, then you remain absorbed in the everlasting God." Stanza 23. सतगुरु नो मिलै सो भायरा सच्चे शब्द लगन सच मिलै से ना विछड़े दर सच्चे दे सन. Describing the blessings received by those who follow the advice of the true Guru and how much he respects them, Guruji says, "O my friends, they who meet and follow the advice of the true Guru are like my brothers and sisters because they remain attuned to the true word of Gurbani, and they who are thus united with the eternal God are not separated from him again. They look truly honorable in the court of the true God." Stanza 24. से भाई से सजना जे सच्चा सेवन अवगन विकन पलरन गुण की सांझ करन. Now Guruji describes how such Guru's followers get rid of their faults or weaknesses and how much God loves them. He says, "They are my brothers, sisters and close friends who serve and remember the eternal God. When their faults are disposed of and merits start to accumulate, they develop a partnership with divine merits." Stanza 25. गुण की सांझ सुख उपजय सच्ची भगत करेन सच वंजय गुर शब्द स्यों लाहा नाम लयन. Elaborating on the blessings obtained by those who participate in acquiring divine virtues, Guruji says, "O my friends, by developing a partnership in divine merits with the Guru, divine peace wells up in their minds and they perform true worship of God. Then through the Guru's word, they invest in truth and obtain the profit of God's name. Stanza 26. ਸੋਇਨਾ ਰੂਪਾ ਪਾਪ ਕਰ ਕਰ ਸੰਚੀਏ ਚਲੇ ਨ ਚਲਦਿਆਂ ਨਾਲ ਵਿਨਾਵੇਂ ਨਾਲ ਨ ਚਲਸੀ ਸਭ ਮੁੱਠੀ ਜਮਕਾਲ. Once again, warning us about the sins associated with amassing worldly wealth and its uselessness in the end, and talking about the merits of amassing the wealth of God's name. He says, "O my friends, by committing many sins we amass gold and silver and other worldly riches, but none of these accompany us when we depart from the world. Except God's name, nothing will go with us. Thus the entire world has been deceived by the demon of death." Stanza 27. मन का तो साहर नाम है, हृदय रखो संभाल, एक खर्च खुट है, गुरमुख निभे नाल. Therefore, Guruji advises, "O my friends, the real sustenance of the mind is God's name, so keep it preserved in your heart. This expense money is inexhaustible, and it accompanies a Guru's follower to the God's court." Stanza 28. ए मन मूलों भुलिया जासे पत गवाए, ए जगत मोह दूजे व्याप्या गुरमति सच ध्याए. Therefore, addressing his own mind, indirectly ours, Guruji says, "O my mind, you have strayed away from God, your true origin, and if you remain strayed like this, you would depart from this world, losing your honor. As far as this world is concerned, it is afflicted by attachment to duality, worldly riches and power. Therefore, following Guru's instruction, you better meditate on the eternal God." Stanza 29. हर की कीमत ना पवै, हर जस दिखन न जाए, गुर कै सोध मन तन रपै, हर स्यों रहे समाए. Now, talking about the glories of God and the merits of Guru's instruction, he says, "O my friends, the birth of God cannot be assessed, and praise of God cannot be written down. Therefore, through Gurbani, the Guru's word, one who imbues one's body and mind with God's love remains absorbed in God." Stanza 30. सो सौ मेरा रंगला रंगे सै सुभाए, कामन रंग ता चढ़े जा फिर के अंक समाए. Regarding the experience enjoyed by those Guru's followers who remain absorbed in God's love, using the metaphor of a young bride, Guruji says, "O my friends, that spouse of mine is very colorful. He imperceptibly imbues the bride's souls with his love. But a bride's soul is imbued with this love only when she truly remembers and surrenders herself to God, and thus merges in the body of her spouse God." Stanza 31. चिरी विछुन्ने फी मिलन, जय सतगुर सेवन, अंतर नवनित नाम है, खान खर्च नान खुटई, हर गुण सहज रवन. Elaborating on the merits of following Guru's advice, he says, "O my friends, they who serve and act on the advice of the Guru are united with God, even if they have been separated from him for a long time. By doing so, they obtain all the 9 treasures of God's name, which is contained within themselves, and it is so abundant that even after enjoying and spending, it does not fall short, and they keep uttering God's praise in a state of divine poise." Stanza 32. ना होए जन्मे ना मरै, ना होए दुख सहन, गुर राखे से उबरे, हर स्यों केल करन. Describing the blessings enjoyed by such Guru's followers, Guruji says, "O my friends, such Guru's followers who are attuned to God through the Guru's word neither take birth nor die, and they do not suffer any pain or sorrow. In short, they who have been saved by the Guru are emancipated and enjoy love with God. Stanza 33. Stanza 33. सज्जन मिले ना विछड़े जे अंधन मिले रहन इस जग में विरले जानिए नानक सच लहन. Guruji concludes the Shabad by telling us how everlasting is the union of those rare Guru's followers who day and night remain attuned to God and keep meditating on His name. He says, "O my friends, they who day and night remain united with God through meditation on His name are not separated from God ever. However, O Nanak, very rarely are known such persons who thus obtain union with the eternal God." Stanza 34-1-3. The message of this Shabad is manifold. First of all, we should understand that there is no use of flattering the worldly people because they are short-lived and would not be able to help us for too long. Therefore, we should only pray and meditate on God, who alone is eternal and can help us even after death. Secondly, we should forsake our ego and self-conceit, and instead of being engrossed in amassing worldly wealth or power, we should try to seek the company of the true saints of God, who would guide us to have friendship and love for the eternal God. Then, by remaining imbued with the love of that God, one day we may also be eternally united with Him. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. SGGS page 755-756. Thank you.